All right, everybody, what is going on? Good late afternoon. We've got some more wide receivers to take a look at here. And now we're truly down to the bottom. These are guys who are projected to be about seventh round picks. Although some of the big boards I use are higher on some of these guys than that, obviously. But very good chance these guys don't even get drafted. But let's get into it, starting with another LSU receiver, Aaron Anderson, 23. Guy's tiny. Guy is actually kind of unique. It's a little bit weird. He's a little stocky, which is weird because he's 190 pounds, but he's only 5'8". So that's about as short as it gets. Tiny arms, and he tested horribly, like 30-inch vert, 9 foot 5-inch broad. Like that's by the standards of a guy his size is basically disqualifying almost. It feels like. Now I know Walter Football loves him. I don't think they've updated in a while. That data might be a little bit out of date, but they loved him. I know the other big boards that I use, they a lot had him in like the 5th or 6th. Aggregate has him in the late 7th, though. 2025 was a big disappointment for him, only like 400 yards, 900 yards the previous year, though, so he was productive in 2024. He's willing to play scrappy and play physically. It's not like he shies away from contact just because he's tiny. He does do some good stuff running routes. He's a pretty good fundamental route runner. I think he might be a good kick returner in the NFL, and he does have some yak skills. He can make a guy miss here and there, but I don't know how much of that's going to translate to the NFL. He's very, very small. Like I said, his hands are kind of bad. At best, he'll be slot only at the NFL level. Final season was stunted by injuries and bad QB play and other stuff. His route breaks aren't super clean anyway, so even though he's a good route runner, you wouldn't call him a great one, and he's going to have to be a great one to find any success at the next level. So I don't see anything here really worth desiring. There's just not really a lot. I think he's a UDFA. I don't think I'd draft him. All right, Caleb Douglas, Texas Tech Red Raider. A little bit more interesting here, I would say. This guy's big. 22, almost 6'4", 206 pounds, decent arm length, big hands, really big hands. He also ran a sub 4.4, so he's got speed. Broad jump was good. Vert was really bad, but read into it as you will. Big boards, again, kind of all over, but the aggregate has him in the 7th. He's much more productive than a lot of receivers you see this late in the draft. Guy had over 1,700 yards over the last 2 years, 13 touchdowns, 110 plus catches, and over 15 yards per catch. So the guy can produce. Not super efficient, but efficient enough to get your attention. And that's the thing here, right? For a guy who's going to probably be available very late, he gets your attention with size and speed. Sub 4.4, 6 foot 3.5. Like that's notable. He does have a big catch radius as well, so he's going to catch a lot of stuff that's off target. He's a good run blocker. So there's something here, man. But he's not a very good route runner. His routes are pretty raw, and I don't know how much better they can get because of the kind of player that he is. He's got to get better hands, I think, if he wants to become a more than just a depth piece. Doesn't really use his size as well as he could. I feel like there's the 50-50 balls could probably be a little bit more tilted in his favor if he knew how to use his size better. So there's upside here. I like it. He could end up just being another one of those vertical field stretchers that scares the defense and never catches anything. But I'd bite in the 5th round for the upside. I think there's something going on here that I'm kind of into, and I don't want to go crazy with it, but he's got some talent. Okay, Colbie Young, Georgia. Another guy with some intriguing talent here. 24, a little bit older, but he's big. I think he's the tallest receiver in this draft. I think he's taller than Fields. 6'5", 218 pounds. Both very, very high in the percentiles. Didn't test great, but for a guy his size, sub 4.5 is fine. Aggregate puts him in the 7th. Only really has 1 year of production, and it wasn't that much. And there's a reason why. I'll get into that in a second here. But he had almost 400 yards last year. So he knows how to use that big body. He's got a big body, knows how to use it to win against coverage. Should be able to also be a little bit of a tight end. I think that he'll be able to be like a flex tight end or a move tight end a little bit. He's got good ball skills. He can go up and win a 50-50 ball. He can adjust at the last second. He runs with good power as well. He can plow his way through tacklers. Now, the issues are, even though he ran a pretty decent 40 for his size, it's still not going to be enough to consistently separate. So he is going to be dependent on catching those contested catches. His routes are labored and slow. He's not a great route runner. Doesn't get through his routes very cleanly. And he does have character concerns. He was arrested and suspended in 2024. So you're going to have to look into that, see what happened, and see if you're willing to take the risk. Not that it's a huge risk at this point in the draft. And injury problems also loom with him. There are big injury red flags on Colbie Young. Between suspension and injury, he's missed most of his college career. So with everything else, that might be enough of a red flag to bypass, but there's something here. This is not bad. This is not a bad package of traits. I do a 7th round flyer. It's not that big of a deal if you miss, and there's a very good chance that you miss, but it's not the end of the world with a 7th round pick. Chase Roberts going to be the last guy in this video, the BYU guy. Couldn't find his age exactly, but some people say he's like 26. I don't know which one it is or not, but I know he's old. A lot of these BYU players are older anyway. Good size, 6'3", 210 pounds, so he's got that, but can't move. 4.64 40, one of the slower 40s in recent memory for a receiver. Not much acceleration. Vert and broad are pretty decent. So at least he's got that, and the aggregate puts him in the late 7th. A lot of production the last 2 years. Over 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 106 catches. Guy put up numbers at BYU, so that's more than you can say for a lot of guys we talk about at this part of the draft. So he's got the size, got the production. He's versatile. He can line up inside. He can line up outside, at least at BYU. And I think he's got the arm length to play outside at the next level. He runs good routes overall. I think he's a decent route runner at the least. He can play with physicality. He's not afraid of contact. He can win through contact. But obviously, when you're running a 4.64 40, it's tough. You're not going to get open a lot. You're not going to separate. You're not a good enough athlete. He's not a very explosive mover. And when you're going to be this big and this slow, you got to run block. And right now, Chase Roberts not really showing much as a run blocker. So I think he can be okay. I think he's got a good understanding of the game. I think he can find a way to be somewhat productive with his smarts and his cerebral impact, but I don't, I of course don't see anything over the top here. I'd go 6th. I think 6th round is fine. I'm a little higher on him than the aggregate, but not really. The age is also a problem. All right. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. I'll try to post one more video today at least. And yeah, we're almost done with the receivers, and then we can clear the schedule for next week, or this week, I guess, if you consider Sunday to be the start of the week.